Hey friends, it's Melissa, the Blue Wagon Stitcher. Welcome to my channel and my FlossTube. It's been a couple of weeks. I've had some adventures and things that I'll tell you about. And I anticipate this video not being too long because I haven't worked on a ton, although I've been doing a lot. I'll give you a little bit of a life update on what's been going on with me the last couple of weeks. But I wanted to hop on and just touch base and share where I'm at and what I've been working on right now, because I will be gone for the next few weeks with my family. My daughter is a senior. She's graduating in 2 days. I'm filming this on Tuesday. She graduates on Thursday. And so our lives have been super crazy, but we are taking her on a senior trip. We are going to go cross country. My parents live in North Carolina, so we are going to take a cross-country trip, visit a few sites along the way. We're going to go up to Niagara Falls, do a little bit of history along the East Coast, and then stay with my parents for a few days, about I think 5 or so days, and then we will come back home. And we're going to have the whole family with me, so I don't have plans to stop at many stitching shops and things. But we are planning to stop at the Missouri Star Quilt Company. That has been my dream to visit there for a very long time. And so I'm excited that our travels will take us right through that area, and I will be able to spend hopefully some good quality time there at Missouri Star. And I dabble in quilting and bag making as well. I haven't done that as much for a long time. Just haven't had a place or room for it. And just as I got it all set up and ready to start back into that, as you may know if you've watched my previous videos, my nephew is living with us for most of the summer. And so he is now living in my sewing room. So that has been put on hold again. But I'm so grateful that I have the handwork, the cross-stitching to be able to do while that area is a little bit tied up and making it difficult for me to quilt and to bag sew and those kinds of things. But all that to say, I'm excited to go to Missouri Star and have that experience. As I understand it, one of their shops, so they've just got like a whole area just full of different shops, and one of them is a cross-stitching shop, if I understand correctly. So we'll find out. So if you've ever visited Missouri Star Quilt Company, let me know down in the comments below and what I should look for and what I should pay attention to while I'm at Missouri Star. We've had a rough couple of weeks with illness. My 2 younger boys, who are 14 and 9, both had pneumonia. 2 weeks ago, my 14-year-old had pneumonia, and then the following week, my 9-year-old came down with pneumonia. So my 9-year-old, poor guy, it was the second to last week of school. We're in the last week right now. So last week he had 2 field trips he was looking forward to. One of them he had earned. His school does what they call a Pacers party. And so the students, there's 2 field trips, one of the first half of the year and one the second half of the year. And students can earn the field trip by basically running a marathon throughout that. So they will run a mile during recess and then get that mile towards their total. And if they run the 26 miles, then they earn to go to the field trip. So he had worked so hard to earn the field trip and couldn't go. And then his grade field trip, he couldn't go on. And that was extra disappointing because I was going to go with him, which I usually don't get to go to. So I work in the day. But I had more flexibility this semester and had the opportunity to go with him, and then we stayed home with him sick. So it's been a rough couple of weeks. Everyone seems to be on the mend. My younger boy's still a little bit tired and recovering, but he is recovering and doing well, and hopefully he can enjoy these last couple of days of the school year. It's always kind of hard here in southeast Idaho. It is still pretty chilly. We had a few days in the 70s a couple of weeks ago, but it has been rainy and in the 40s and 50s for highs for the last few weeks. And it always seems the last week of school is just not great weather. And we might get into the 60s this week for the last couple of days of the week, but it's hard. Thankfully, our local university offers to host the graduation ceremonies for our local high schools, so we'll be in a good indoor facility for my daughter's graduation. My first daughter, they did not utilize that offering, and they tried to hold graduation in we just had recently got a new stadium, and it was awful. We had this big rainstorm and windstorm came in. They ended up in the middle of the ceremony moving everyone inside the gym, and it was too small for us all to fit. And then they couldn't get the technology working. They got the technology working just barely as they called my daughter's name, and we were watching her from the auditorium. We weren't even able to be live to watch her graduate. So that's frustrating, but I'm also glad that they've learned their lesson and are holding it inside now. So my second daughter, we can hopefully have a much better experience with. So that is what's going on. Personally, I have done a little bit of traveling for work, and in that was able to be in Texas for the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild. Oh, I don't know what they call it. It's not a retreat. I can't remember. I was going to look up the name of what they actually call it. But it's their kind of their celebration day. So it is their 30th anniversary, 25th or 30th anniversary of the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild. And then I'm also a member of the Rocky Mountain Sampler Guild. One of them is turning 25 and one of them is turning 30, and they're both celebrating this year, so it's a little tricky to keep track of them. But I was able to attend that day in person while I was in Dallas I had meetings in Dallas on Friday for work, and didn't have a flight that went out till Saturday evening, so I was able to stay and actually attend that in person, which was really exciting. And I was grateful to be able to be there, meet a few of those ladies in person. That guild regularly meets online, and so most of the people in that guild have only met and interacted online. So it was a good opportunity. I'm not sure how many people were there. Maybe 50 or so were there in person. But it was lovely. So I'll just start there while I'm talking about it. Erica Michaels Designs was the featured designer there. And I learned that it's not actually Erica Michaels. It's not her name. Her name is Linda Stoltz, I believe. She named her design company as a play on her child's name, Eric Michael. And so she took his name and feminized it for the name of her company. But she is very well known for the strawberries. From my understanding, she's kind of the one who really popularized the movement of the strawberries in designing the strawberry pincushion designs. And so if you're in that guild and you have not received your package yet, spoiler alert, okay, I'm going to be showing the pattern. So those who did not attend the event in person were able to purchase the kit and get it by mail. And those were just mailed out, I think, a day or two before the event on Saturday. So some folks may not have this at the time that I post this. So if you want to be surprised, skip this part. I'm warning you now. But the morning we spent with Michelle Ink Designs, and she does silver making. And she has also become well known in the sampler and stitching realm for her silver pieces that she does. And folks were able to purchase the class and make the silver pieces with her, or purchase already made pieces. Budget wise, I went with the already made piece and chose one piece to purchase, but the process is really, really cool. And so I got to at least hear her process a little bit. But you should look up Michelle Ink Designs. If you go to my Instagram, I've tagged her there in some of my recent posts about the event on Saturday. She uses this silver embedded clay process and a kilning process to heat it to make these pieces. And she makes, buttons. I think she said she just came out with the counting pins this season. So I ordered this button, and this is, let's see if it will focus if I move out of the way. There we go. This is a Tudor Rose button, and it is in silver. I'm just realizing I don't have my lights on. I feel like I'm pretty well lit, but I can see where showing that you don't get quite the light. So the Tudor Rose pin or button, and this is going to go probably on one of the pillows that Linda designed. So I'll show you real quick here the design that Linda did specifically for the Tudor Rose Guild, and it's quite incredible. It's four pieces. So here is the pattern, Welcome the Rose, and this is based on a sampler that she believes is circa 1750s. And so she just took this middle motif out of that sampler, and then she also did a needle book, a strawberry, of course, and then a pillow, which I'll show you in just a minute, that was sort of an afterthought. She included that in after, so it's not in this cover photo. But there it is. Welcome the Rose. Okay, and then I'll show you a picture here of the, there's the picture of the original sampler. And so you can see that middle motif there with the Tudor Rose is what she pulled out for our guild. And then she just used the last lines of the message that was there, and she kept it in the Old English. And it says, welcome the rose, both red and white, welcome the flower of our delight. And then she made a few adaptations as well, specifically to the pattern for our guild. I won't go into all of that, but there's the pillow. And you can see she's used the button there in the middle of the pillow. We'll get it to focus. There we go. So just incredible. And the full pattern, full instructions. This is a big old packet. And she also gave us some additional instructions specifically on the strawberry, and then the full kit, finishing items, the wools for the needle book, all of the threads, and the fabric. The fabric will do 3 of the 4 projects, so the large sampler piece and then 2 of the smalls. Again, she didn't anticipate adding the pillow, and the strawberry, I think, was already shared in another format previously, and so folks would have the opportunity to decide which of the smalls, or to just get additional fabric if they wanted to do all 4 of the smalls. So that was really fantastic. If you would like more information about the Tudor Rose Guild, here's the information. There we go. There's their website. And I do love that this guild has the opportunity for you to get all of your information on the website and to register and pay for membership. I believe their membership is a January to December membership. And I'm not sure, you'll have to look on the website to see if you can join the guild mid-year or if you have to wait for their open time in January. So I set that down. Then the Rocky Mountain Guild, I think theirs is the 3rd, I don't know. But they sent out a little gift to celebrate their anniversary this year. So kind and amazing. So this was not an additional purchase. This was a gift for guild members. And this is a Plum Street sampler piece called Happy Day. And we were all sent this in the mail. Again, I should have given a warning. So sorry. If you're a member of that guild and didn't get it, I'm sorry. I didn't give you a warning. Let's see if it will focus. There we go. So Happy Day by Plum Street Samplers. And it's got a bit of a patriotic vibe. It has the rabbit across the middle. It has the flags and the red, white, and blue theme. Just so cute. So a fun little stitch there. And then we all received this little charm with the pattern. This is from 5 Times Blessed. And that is an Etsy shop. So if you go to 5timesblessed.etsy.com, you can get information about the maker of that charm. So we all received in the mail that charm and pattern as a celebration gift from the Rocky Mountain Sampler Guild, and they are based in Colorado. So those are the two guilds that I am a member of, and I have really enjoyed both of the guilds. They do a great job of having a lot of experiences and different events for folks to be a part of, various stitch-ins, and they really try to include a broad audience and offer things via Zoom, so that if you aren't local to the Denver or Dallas area for either of those guilds, you can still participate. All right, here I said it was going to be short, and I've already been talking 15 minutes, so I guess that's good. Finishes. I had one finish. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might have had another finish, but we'll have to grab that on the next video. This is my name tag for the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild. Most guilds, at least the two that I'm part of, sent me free patterns for a name tag to stitch up for the guild, so that when you do in-person events, people can know who you are. And these were really handy. So I was talking to a few gals to be able to just glance down, get their name, and connect with them. So there is mine. And so this guild was established in 2000. So that helps us solve the problem. The Tudor Rose is 25, and then the Rocky Mountain must be 30 years. So I just finished it with some bee fabric on the back, just a yellow border, and I had several of these little lanyards from other conferences and things as an educator that I've been to. So I just did a buttonhole in the top right here and clipped that on. So that was my way to finish that off. I've worked on 2 whips this in the last couple of weeks. Again, life has just been busy. And so here are my 2 whips. Okay, my first whip is the Summer Quaker by Primrose Cottage. Okay, so I've been working on that. I am using Cottage Daisy by, I think, Classic Colorworks. I have it right here. Let me just triple check. I did not use the silk, and I've really liked this color. Yes. Classic Colorworks Cottage Daisy is the color that I'm using. Go. It's got just very subtle variegation in it in the colors. Show it one more time, see if you can get a good look at it. There we go. Somewhat focused. We're having trouble with the focusing today. There we go. Okay, so I've been working on that. And then the second piece is, I thought, oh, I'll wait to start this. And then I just kept thinking about it, and I couldn't keep waiting. So this is the new pattern from Primrose, and I'm sorry, I did not grab the pattern covers for the Summer Quaker or for this one, but this is the brand new release from Primrose Cottage. If you go to Primrose Cottage's website, Primrose Cottage, I think quilts.com, just, you'll find it. And this is their main piece for their new release. And so I have a start on that. And I do believe that Lindsay of Primrose Cottage, she's talked about stitching along with this and doing basically a row a month in celebration of getting to next July for the US's 250th birthday anniversary. I don't know if I'm that patient, so I'm just stitching along, and I'm really enjoying it. This is on, I believe, 25 count mushroom. Okay, and I am doing 1 strand over 1. Yes, I sure am. Is this 25? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 25 count mushroom, and I am doing 1 strand over 1. I will triple check that, but I am mostly pretty positive that that's what that is. And I am loving that. I am planning to take this on my road trip. I have learned that I have a very difficult time stitching on linen in a road trip. So something like this that is, the Ada or the whatever this is called, because words are hard apparently this morning, where I'm not having to count over two, and the holes are a little bit bigger for me to see while traveling, so I'm not getting headaches and not having to focus and lighting, all of those issues we have when we work on small count linen. So I am planning to work on this in the cart and get pretty far on this over our trip the next 3 weeks. Okay, so those are my whips and my finish. So let's talk about my cart hoppers. So while I was in Dallas, there were some JoAnn stores and there were some quilt stores. So I got in on Thursday morning and I had Thursday afternoon to myself to do what I wanted. And so I thought, oh, well, usually when I'm in Dallas, it's for business and I'm usually with other people. I don't have a lot of flexibility in where I get to go and what I get to do. So I thought, I'll visit some quilt and stitching shops. The cross-stitch shops near Dallas were a good distance away, like an hour drive or so, and I didn't have that kind of traveling in me. But there were a couple of needlepoint shops. And I ended up visiting, I think, 2 quilting shops and then a needlepoint shop. And I had purchased something in every store and thought, okay, if I go to the next 4 stores that I have planned, I will have no money. So I was a big girl and decided to stop there. But I stopped in 2 fantastic, 3, I think, but so shops. So I will start with the stitching shop that I visited. Again, this is a mostly a needlepoint shop. It's called Creative Stitches and Gifts, and it is in Dallas, Texas. They do have a website, creativestitchesandgifts.com. And I have done a little bit of needlepoint. I believe it's Kathy Haberman has a few designs that she did last year for the online event that Lindy Stitches does, for the Jingle Ball. And so I had stitched 1 or 2 of those ornaments that she did, and I had also participated in a little freebie class that a needle artist that's online did. And so I'm like, okay, I kind of like this. But folks, if you know anything about needlepoint, it's expensive. Like, you think you're spending a lot of money on your cross stitch charts and your thread. These needlepointers purchased hand painted canvases, and they are a lot of money. So if you're a needlepointer, share your tips and tricks with me. I would love to do more of it, but gosh. So what I did was I purchased this little kit. It is a little zip pouch with a design on it to stitch. It came with all of the threads and everything to do it with. And so, come on. So I'm excited about that little coin purse, and of course it's bee themed. It was just perfect. So I picked that up at this needlepoint shop. And then I picked up, if you're in the area and you need thread, they had every kind of floss. They had lots of different silks. They had a lot of variety. And I had already checked 2 different shops. I had been to Utah earlier in the week and had checked a couple of shops in Utah, and they were all out of the cottage daisy, and I needed more for my Quaker. They had lots here at this stitch and gift shop. So I picked that up, and then I also grabbed a stitch gauge. It's a ruler, and so if you hold it up to your fabric, you can tell what the count is of your fabric. So I grabbed that. I know there's a lot of really cute, like the corner gauges and things, and I would love one of those, but while I was at the shop, they had those at what I thought was a good price, so I picked that up. So that's what I got at the Creative Stitches and Gifts. Okay. So, and then I went to a quilt shop. So cute and fabulous and so helpful. the gal there that helped me was amazing. It's called Must Love Fabric. So again, if you're in the Dallas area, Must Love Fabric. And I purchased several fat quarters and a half yard of a couple of fabrics. They had this darling beeline. So we've got these daffodils and this fun butterfly. I'll get out of the picture so it will focus. There we go. In a couple different colorways. I love this peachy pink. Oh, I've got this setting going on my phone for the cinematic setting, and it makes it difficult, I think, for it to focus. But look at these bees. So cute. And then this, and then a couple of, small patterns. I love this beehive pattern. So, and then kind of the same kinds of things in just different colorways. So my goal in grabbing this was probably to make some kind of a tote bag or purse or something like that. Maybe some project bags with some of it as well. I just fell in love with the line and had to get the fat quarters. And they have a promotion where if you buy 6 fat quarters, the 7th one is free. So I think I got 9 here, 9 or 10. And then I grabbed this, was also part of the line, thinking for a lining fabric for a bag. So I got a half yard of that. And then I really enjoy Tula Pink. And so they just had a small selection of Tula Pink, but they had this cute giraffe. So I grabbed a half yard of that. And then this is one of her kind of sly patterns. You got to really look close to see. Do you see the fox? I'll leave it up there for a moment to see if you can find him. It's in there. Okay, so this one has the foxes. So that's Tula Pink. So that's the fabric that I picked up at that quilt shop. And she was so sweet. She gave me a free pattern that's a fat quarter pattern. And then I think a ruler with the shop name on it and things like that. So that is those are my cart hoppers from my Stitch and Fabric quilt shops that I stopped at. And then, like I mentioned, I went to JoAnn's. I went to 2 different JoAnn stores, and they had some DMC. One of them did quite a lot of DMC. So I got the regular 6-strand floss, and they also had the Pearl Cotton 5. So I might have gone slightly crazy with that. But one had these needle minders. I picked one up for me and one for a gift for my sister. I may not get this to her before she watches this, so one of these is for you. She'll know who she is. We've been talking. My sister is also a cross stitcher. She does like super detailed, like dimension type kit cross stitching. We've talked. We need to get together and do a FlossTube together. So someday we will. This is also a needle case that they had these, like, they were like 70% off or something. And I thought, oh, I want to do another stitchy box. I can just recover the top of this to match the stitchy box that I do. So that's my plan for that. And then I got these 4 crates. I don't really have a purpose in mind for them other than organization. So those are all the colors, and they flip up if you haven't seen, and they, oh, where's the, there it is. So the sides all flip up and they snap together to make these little boxes, and they stack on top of each other so you can have these crates all stacked. So, a craft sewing room always needs more organization. So at one of the JoAnn stores, this is my haul here. And actually I think this is all I got at one store. And then the other store I got those needle minders and the baskets. Then at a Utah JoAnn's, that's where all of this other DMC came from. They were really close to, I think last week was their last week, and they were going out. But, oh my goodness, they had, look at all of that. That's all Pearl 5. they had these bags. I really like these little size tote bags. They were half off, so I got that for $1. But folks, I've really enjoyed stitching the nylon bags with various patterns. And so I thought, well, I mean, at this price, if I have a stash and make some substitutions generally for colors, like, can't go wrong. So I grabbed every one of every color that they had of the Pearl Cotton 5. So this bag is full of those. So there's that. And then they also had DMC, and I did the same thing. I just went through and got one of every color they still had in stock. I don't know if I already have it or not. Chances are I will have a few of them, but not all of them. And, you know, again, if you're a stitcher, you can never have enough. So at 30 cents a skein, I felt like that was a pretty good deal to stock up. I didn't go crazy. Oh, look, there's another Pearl Cotton that's hiding in there. I didn't go super crazy, you know, and get 5 of a color or anything. If there was a color that I felt might be used a little bit more, I grabbed 2, but for the most part, I just grabbed 1 of each. Okay, so I think we've gone through all of the things. I have one last thing to share with you, and that is my new hobby for my cross-country road trip. Like I said, I want something to do on these long days that we're in the car for 6 to 8 hours a day, but my finer needlework just is not going to work for me in the car. So in addition to pulling out my Ada and even weave, there's the name of it, even weave projects for the trip, I have really been intrigued by English paper piecing recently and that handwork. Now, I have crocheted in the past, and I think I mentioned in one of my first videos that I had started knitting. I'm not good enough at knitting and know enough. I haven't read a pattern or anything to bring knitting. It's been too long since I've done crochet, and I'm really liking the thread handwork right now. So English paper piecing is what came up on the docket. I grabbed this bag. Again, I've showed you this bag previously, I think. It has this clear front pocket and then an open pocket inside. And this is one of the projects I'm in the middle of, making like 8 or 9 of these, because I had planned to bring these for my table gifts to Stitch West, and that did not happen. So I have one finished, but it will be perfect, I think, for my English paper piecing. So in the front, I just put all of my tools. So I have my glue pen, an extra glue, my smaller rotary cutter. I have a pack of needles here. And then on the inside, I have magnets and my thread. I went with a gray. Gray's supposed to be more neutral than tan or white. We'll find out, but gray is what I have. So I picked up gray. I think that's a 50 weight thread. Oh, it's 80 weight. 80 weight. And then the magnets to hold your 2 pieces together. These are pretty strong magnets. There's also like a brand that's like Sew Tight, SEWTITE magnets that are meant specifically for holding, you know, to take the place of your clips or your pins to magnet 2 pieces of fabric together. But I just went on Amazon and bought some. And then I didn't want my pieces to get squished in there, and I wanted to keep them clean from taking things in and out. So this will be my tools bag, and then this will be my bag for my pieces, and as they get sewn together, they can go back in here. So I grabbed a line. It's a farm line. I should be more prepared and know what that line is, but I don't. I will try to put it in the notes down below. If you really want to know and I forget to put it in the notes, just send me an email or a message or a comment, and I do check those. But there's the sheep, there's these cherries, and then this little barn. So I just started playing with it. Oh goodness, I don't know if that's gonna focus. You can't, it's being blown out by the light. But anyway, it's a cute little farm set. And I just got mini charms, and this is a 1-inch hexagon. And my hope is to glue a bunch of them before I leave on the trip. So I'll let you know how that goes. But then the magnets, the idea with the magnets is to magnet those two pieces together so you can stitch them easily. So I will be working the next few days to make a bunch of my covered hexies and have my set all ready for the car to start English paper piecing. My first thought about the project to do here is just to sew those hexies together and then use them for making some project bags. And, you know, just we'll rectangle them up, square them off, and sew them into project bags is my thought. So that's my plans. I think that's everything for today. So no, you won't see me for several weeks. If you want to follow along, I plan to be posting on Instagram. So go over to Instagram, Blue Wagon Stitcher, follow me there, and I will be posting as much as I can just about our adventures, about any places we stop, and for sure about Missouri Star Quilt Company. So again, if you've been to Missouri Star, please let me know about your experience or any tips you have. If you've been to Niagara Falls, that's another big place we're headed. And so let me know your tips and tricks. Otherwise, if you like what you're seeing and you enjoy spending a little bit of your time with me, would you please make sure you subscribe, like the video. It's been fun to build a little bit of community here on YouTube. And as I've traveled a little bit and visited some of these events, stitching events, it's been so fun to meet up with some of you. I must have a thing for Kims. I met another Kim on Saturday in Texas, and we struck up some good conversation, and I enjoyed visiting with Kim. And but anyway, it's so fun to visit you and get to know some stitchy friends. And so keep it up. Comment and share some of your thoughts down in the comments. I also love reading your comments. I really try to keep up with that and answer and respond to any questions and remarks that you make down there. So looking forward to seeing you next time, and be sure to follow me on Instagram so you can follow my journey over the next few weeks. All right, we'll see you soon. Happy stitching. Bye-bye.